Okay, very good morning, students. Shall we start? Is my screen visible to you? Okay, fine. Okay, so in the last lecture, we had completed with this mode of transfer. So we had seen mainly three modes. One is program control, second one is interrupt initiated, and third one is direct memory access. Now in this interrupt initiated IO, we are required to discuss related to this interrupt, like how that interrupt can be chosen. So for that, we need to refer, yes, this topic, priority interrupt. So how we are going to select the priority for our interrupt, right? So see here, it determines which interrupt is to be served first when two or more requests are made simultaneously. So obviously it is possible, right? At the same time, we are having more than one request from the CPU. But CPU cannot grant more than one request at the same time. So CPU needs to use some strategy, or you can say some priority based selection to select the specific interrupt. Basically, interrupt is nothing but you can say one kind of disturbance, or you can say the some process which needs to have their attention. So some program are going on, but meanwhile, if there is some interrupt that needs to be taken care. For example, whenever you guys are coming at the college and we were having regular session, right? So meanwhile, if we are having some announcement related to some seminar, some workshop, right? So what we need to do, we are pause our lecture at that point of time, right? And you need to switch towards the seminar hall just to attend that particular session. Again, once you are back, by completing that session, we'll resume our regular teaching, right? So teaching is nothing but you can say one ongoing process, but meanwhile we are having interrupt in terms of some workshop, right? Some workshop, some seminar, whatever, some expert talk, and that expert talk needs to have its execution first. So what we'll do, we'll pause our regular teaching at that point of time and we'll allow that expert session to carry on. So that expert session is nothing but you can consider as a one of the interest, right? So for example, at the same time you are having two, three expert lectures. So obviously at a time only one can be entertained, right? So if you are having more than one request, so which you need to select, that is based on this priority selection. And for that we are having two techniques. One is polling and one is daisy chaining. So we'll see this two today. Okay. Also determine which interrupt are permitted to interrupt the computer while another is being serviced. Okay. So when two devices interrupt the computer at the same time, the computer services the device with the higher priority. So when we are having two sessions at the same time, will allow you for the session which is having higher priority. Okay. Priority can be established using software and hardware. So that is different. In case of hardware interrupt, we need to set priority in terms of hardware. In case of software, we need to set priority in terms of software. Okay, it is not like we are having always hardware priority. We might have software priority as well. Okay, two methods to check the priority for the interrupt. One is pooling and one is daisy chaining, right? So we'll see this both today. A polling procedure is used to identify with the, just a second, used to identify with the highest priority source by software, whereas daisy chaining method used by the hardware. So whenever you need to set priority in the hardware, you can use daisy chaining, and in case of software, you can use a polling method. Okay. Now let's see in case of polling. Let me try new color. Okay. Polling is a protocol that notifies the CPU that a device needs its attention. Okay. Unlike in interrupt, where device tells CPU that it needs CPU processing, in the polling, CPU keeps asking that IO device whether it needs CPU processing or not. So in the earlier method, what happened? Whenever there is some interrupt, device will tell the CPU that okay, I need your attention because I am having some interrupts which needs to take care. Okay, but here in the polling, what happened? CPU is keep on asking to our input output device in case there is some interrupt or not. So here reversely, like faculties are asking to some expert lecturer that whether you are having some speech to convey our students or not, right? So here that expert lecturer will not ask us that I am having some content to deliver, but as a faculty we are keep on asking like if you are having some session, then please let us know. Okay, you people are getting the difference. And in this method, there is one common branch address for all the interrupts. We are using one common address. So the program that take care of interrupt begin at the branch address and post the interrupt source in the sequence. So as here we are using one common branch address. First we'll choose the interrupt which is having higher priority, and after that we'll follow, or you can say will sequence each and every interrupt in that same. The order in which they are tested determine the priority of each interrupt. Okay, so that is very as per the interrupt, as per the requirement, right? So likewise, we'll make the sequence, or you can say we'll make the pool of each and every interrupt. Okay. Fine. So this is all about pooling method. Second one is daisy chain. See, both the question can be asked as an individual question as an one question, right? So you need to write according to the weightage of marks. So the second one is the daisy chaining, which is used in case of hardware interrupt. So see here they made one circuit where here we are having, that is my phone. Yes. Here we are having CPU which will take the interrupt request from various devices, right? Interrupt request, as well as once request will be get, it will be acknowledged in form of interrupt acknowledgement. So how it will be communicate? See in the this description first, then you can focus on the diagram. This PI is the priority in and PO is the priority out. Okay, and this VAD is nothing but you can consider as a vector address, interrupt vector address, right? They are having their own interrupt vector address. So it consists of serial connection of all devices that request an interrupt. So here we are having serial connection, not the parallel connection. Okay. The device with the higher priority is placed in the first position, followed by lower priority device, up to the device with the lowest priority, which is placed last in the chain. So here we'll follow the arrangement like where we are having first device which is having higher priority, after that lower and in In that same chain, the last device is having lowest priority. Okay. The interrupt request line is the common to all device and forms a wide logic circuit. So see, this line is common for every devices, right? And it is having like wired logic connection. The CPU responds to an interrupt request by enabling the interrupt acknowledgement line. This one, enabling this interrupt acknowledgement line. Okay. The signal is received by device 1 at its priority in input. This thing. As this device 1 is having high priority, will request this interrupt acknowledgement signal first to device 1. Now, this acknowledgement on to the next device through the PO. This is the priority output only if device 1 is not need into input. Let's suppose device 1 get that acknowledgement signal, okay? But due to some reason, if device 1 does not want to have attention from the CPU, it will pass this acknowledgement signal to device 2 in form of this priority output, right? Otherwise, it will not pass. Just a second. So otherwise it will not pass this signal. It will be block that particular interrupt signal in on device 1 only. Okay, so they have written the same thing over here. This acknowledgement passes on to the next device through this priority output only if device 1, that means this first device, is not need an interrupt. Otherwise, it blocks that particular acknowledgement signal from the next device by placing 0 to the output signal. So unless and until this PO is having 0 value, device 2 will not get any acknowledgement signal from the CPU. Right. At that time, device 1 will block that particular acknowledgement signal and it will be take attention from the CPU. Once that device 1 is done with that attention and with that process, it will make PO is equal to 1 and the same this interrupt signal it will be passed to the next device. After that same way to the third, to the fourth device and onwards. It then proceeds to insert its own interrupt vector address, that is VAD, into its data bus for the CPU to use during the interrupt cycle. Is CPU needs to take care that whatever interrupts in at that time, CPU needs its own interrupt address just to have a information stored, right? Obviously, whenever we organize some session, we require some detail about that session. So here in form of VAD, we are storing that detail towards the CPU. So is it fine for you? Please have a note of this diagram and let me know in case of query. So any query in this topic? Two tabs to select the priority. One is pooling, one is basic change. Okay. Fine. So let's move to the next topic. Yes. Input output processor. So it will be somewhat, you can say 1 to 2% similar with DMA consent, that is direct memory access. Instead of taking interface or help from the CPU, will directly trying to communicate with help of input output processor, right? So what is there in this figure? Like instead of taking our CPU as an interface, right, to communicate between input output device into the memory, we are assigning some external processor that will directly communicate with our input and output devices. So that external processor can be called as a input output processor. Okay. So here you can simply consider as a that IOP we can classify as a one of the processor, right, which is having direct memory access. See over here, it will be directly able to communicate with memory unit, right? So it is having direct access with the memory, and as well as it is having connection, or you can say direct connection with various input output devices, or you can say peripheral devices, right? So here you can easily see we are not taking help from the CPU, but yes, we are directly communicating with memory as well as with the various peripheral devices, right? So here you can say mainly we are having three things. One is memory unit. Where is my cursor? Okay. Yes. One is this memory unit. That memory unit. After that, one is number of processor that is having one processor unit you can consider as a CPU, one processor unit in form of input output processor, that is IOP, right? So mainly three units are there. One is memory and other two processor. One is CPU, one is IOP. Fine. So after that, this IOP, this one. IOP takes various input and output tasks, that is, and we are again sending them to the memory unit, right? So actually this IOP is nothing but you can consider as a one similar processing unit is like our CPU, but see, in this input output processor we are handling various IO processing. CPU might handle everything, but in this IOP, we are only focusing on the various IO processing, right? So here in this IOP, we can fetch and we can execute our own instruction with respect to our input output instruction, okay? And yes, apart from that transformation, we are having various facility in this IOP, like perform various arithmetic operation. So that is like addition, subtraction, and so on. After that, various logic instruction as well as branching, various code translation, right? So this type of information, or you can say this type of instruction, can be handled with help of our IOP. Okay. Fine. CPU working, we all are aware. Here we are having various peripheral devices, more than one peripheral devices that we can communicate with IoT. Okay. So see in this block diagram, one is memory unit that will occupy as an you can say one central unit, right? This is the priority based or you can say central unit, and that can easily communicate with both type of processor. One is CPU, this one is CPU as well as one is IOP. Memory unit is able to communicate with both type of devices. That CPU here, that CPU is mainly responsible to process the data, and this IOP is mainly responsible to have a data transformation between various input output devices. Okay, so mainly in the CPU we are initiating some of the program you can say, whereas in the IOP we are performing some transformation between our input output devices. Okay. So you people are getting what we need to perform in this diagram: memory unit, CPU, IOP device and various peripheral device connected on the IO bus. You people are getting? Please note down the points, whatever I am telling whenever explaining this topic, okay? Because here description is not given in this slide. What type of communication that you can carry on as with respect to CPU as well as with respect to IOP, that we'll see in the next, okay? And one small topic that is serial communication and these two slides. And, okay. So by tomorrow lecture we'll able to finish this unit. Good. So do ask in case of query. Please upload assignment 2 before deadline, those who are pending. Okay, everyone, just write down your enrollment number in the chat box.